Good morning. Welcome. This is I'm Tina O from Tina O Life, and welcome back to The Call. I think this series is a no makeup, raw kind of morning, beautiful sunlight kind of series. So get used to seeing my mug, in all my mug in, this regular life face. Okay. All right. So this series of The Call here on Tina O Life, I'm a core story specialist, and what I do is I listen. I'm like a professional listener, and I help people give themselves permission to, one, hear the call inside of them. That call may not be a doing call, like a purposeful, passionate, go change the world call, but it might be. It might be a call inside of them of beingness. I think about my mom who collected me when I was 6 months old. She had a being call rather than a doing, impactful, change the world call. Her being call created impact for sure. Anyway, this is a series about your call. And in this series, I'm going to be sharing my own stories of how I heard that call or self-identified with the call inside me. And I happen to live in a space that really, really does that for me. It's a little chilly out here. I think it's -1. It's -1 today here on the West Coast. Can I just say that? -1. Need my tea. Okay, so yesterday, if you were in on the call number 1, I was talking about leaning into what's peaceful and a story about my dad and sitting on the BC ferries and looking out at the ocean. And in that calm space, I could feel home inside of me. And it's really only in that place of home that we can receive that call inside of us. And the idea of the call, just so you know, along this course, the lines of core story, is that each of us comes into the world as a story stone. And as that stone is dropped into the water, as we are, just think about the water because it gives you a good visual. Not saying the universe is water, but hey, we can go with that. As the stone is dropped into the water, our story that is that stone ripples. And when people find me, they're usually between ripples. And when you think about ripples, those ripples, they expand out, right? Until they become one with the water. Even though they're always one with the water. But those stories, that unique, beautiful story, that imprint of story that is you, ripples out, just like water does when a stone is dropped. So you are that story stone. So the call inside of you is that imprint, how that story wants to live in the world. The call is that imprint on that stone. It is, I don't even like using words like reason or purpose or any of that stuff because it's got such a hierarchical judgment about if you're not doing your thing, then you're just wasting time. And here's my thing. It's like none of us has to do anything unless we're made to do. You being here is the call. Your arrival here, your time around the sun, however you want to describe how you got here, that is your call. No one's here by accident, right? No one's exempt. No one's exempt from having something unique and special that is them inside of them. So today's story I'm going to share with you is this. I had a number of moments in my life as a young person when I started to feel like, oh my gosh, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I so this? Why am I so that? Why is it like, oh, why am I so much in this arena? And I specifically remember my dear, dear, dear friend, Giovanni. You probably see him on my Facebook stuff. I've known him since we were 7 years old. And I love him in my heart like we are the same person. That's the thing about those people in your life, right? That are deep cellular friendships. So Giovanni was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, grade 10. Okay, I wasn't in the show, I was in some other show. And he played Joseph. And so every night he'd get up, right, and he'd sing his heart out. And at the end of the show, during the curtain call, he came out on stage. And the thing I love about curtain calls, I guess this must be why I'm a core story lady, is the actor and the heart of an actor shows up on stage. You meet the rawness that is them, that wanted that part, that like devoted their energy to diving into that part. And that part shows up on stage. So when Gio came out on stage for his curtain call, it just like erupted out of me. I was sobbing like I hadn't sobbed, I think, since I saw Terms of Endearment after my mom died. Right? Like, I don't know if you've seen that scene, the end of Terms of Endearment, like it'll slay you. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so it was like that. Big, hot, uncontrollable tears. Like, you know, like my head's down. I can barely look up. I am losing my shit over here. I'm 15 years old. Can you say embarrassing? Can you say embarrassing? Can you say, okay, Overbury, back off just a little bit too much? It's like, that's a little too much. And that's the thing about your uniqueness. That's the thing. As you listen to the call that is you, there's going to be something in you that's just a little bit too much for the rest of the world, because it is so brilliant. It is so bright. It is like the sharpest, pointiest, most brilliant part of a star. It is the imprint inside you that is the call that says you, yes, you, I said you are special. I came out of that show and I remember walking out of the auditorium and I was sobbing and sobbing, and the teachers were around me and like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm sure people chalked it up to being a 15-year-old hormonal chick, right? And there may have been an element of that until it showed up again. I remember going to see Les Mis. These all happened to be theater experiences for me. And this goes back to the way I listen. I saw Les Mis, came out of the theater. I was 18 years old with my boyfriend. I started sobbing at the curtain call. It's always about the curtain call, because in the curtain call, I can see people. And I don't just see them. It's like I hear them. And I don't just hear them. I feel them. It's like a full sensory experience of the person I am witnessing. It's actually not about me. I just happen to be receiving something in that moment of their beauty. So I come out of Les Mis, and I'm not kidding. I'm a wreck. I can't speak. My boyfriend, it's like, this girl. I don't know about this girl. I don't know, man. She erupts. I am sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. I sobbed out, like walking out of the theater. I sobbed through the parking lot. I sobbed 2 blocks down. I'm 18 years old, still sobbing. And in that moment, I thought it was it the music? Was it Les Mis? Was it the performance? I know now, 3 decades later, yes, that may have inspired it, but it wasn't that. It's part of the call inside of me. It's part of the exchange that I have with people. The next time that happened, I was watching a show at Studio 58, and it was Aaron Wells was playing did this one-woman show, and the whole show, I wish I could show you, but I can't really, with her back. So imagine that my camera's looking at my back, and she did this whole show with her shoulder blades talking to each other as characters, which was really cool. Couldn't really understand what she was saying, because she had this really funky kind of Gaelic accent. But again, it wasn't about understanding the words. I was having a whole story experience without understanding the words. So there was this moment when, right at the end, so before the curtain call, And she says whatever she says. I don't know, couldn't tell you. But the lights come down, the lights come back up in this sort of window, a sliver of light behind her in this sort of triangular space. And she turns around and dances off stage saying something. I have no idea what it was. And in that moment, I couldn't even think. It's like all of a sudden, whoosh, I was bawling. Bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling. Again. Okay, so there it is again. The last time I remember this happening, I was actually at Bard on the Beach. And I was watching my ex-husband in Elizabeth Rex. And my intense, I was so moved. I was so moved by his performance. Show comes down, leave the theater. It took me about 2 hours to decompress because I was so moved by his performance. So I'm telling you all this because, you know, as someone in my 40s, that part of me, I still get embarrassed by it. I do. Like when it shows up like tears and I meet somebody for the first time and they're just getting to know me, I think, oh my God, what's going to happen when they meet that part? When they meet that part of me? I'm a highly functional person. My emotions don't take over my driving. My emotions don't take over my cooking. They don't like those tears. They don't sound like they take over. However, they're a piece of me. There is a waterfall of connection between me and people. The tears are the clue. The tears aren't the call. The tears or the laughter or the connection. They're not like, that's not the call. That's a clue. It's how it shows up. I'm only going to give you that much today, but I want to give you this idea of there's something inside of you. There's some way of being in the world that's intense about you. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful if you will leave yourself alone and just see it and love it and hold it and get curious about it. The call inside of you is that beautiful, sparkly, pointiest part of the star. Follow it. There is something in there. I will share more about how that shows up for me in my work as a professional listener. Can you imagine if I had a name badge? Professional listener. Oops, sorry, that's my finger. Professional listener. She's a professional listener. But I can track those tears. I can track the seeing, the being, the hearing, the witnessing, the exchange between my eyes, my awareness, and somebody's heart through those 15-year-old, 18-year-old, what were the other two? You know, like 30-something, 40-something-year-old experiences. I'm Tina O from Tina O Life. This is my series called The Call. Welcome to this morning. I hope you have a lovely one. Pay attention to the beauty that is you and follow that beauty, because it will take you to who you are and how you live in the world. Have a great day, everybody. You can connect with me here. Ciao.